Rivaldo Vitor Borba Ferreira, aka Rivaldo. Number 10 on his shirt, the Brazilian will forever remain a much misunderstood artist. His individualism on the ball has fascinated as much as his genius has enchanted Europe's greatest arenas. Always decisive in major matches, the Seleçao's orchestra leader in the late 1990s and early 2000s suffered throughout his career from a crying lack of recognition. He has suffered from the incessant and inevitable comparison with his counterpart, Ronaldo, a man with whom he has nevertheless caused havoc. Here is a look back at Rivaldo's career, the story of a genius who was always underrated. Among the players who have absolutely conquered everything, or almost everything, how can we not think of Rivaldo? Winner of the 1999 Copa America, the 2002 World Cup, and the 2003 Champions League, the 1999 Ballon d'Or winner can legitimately claim to have one of the most impressive records in world football. The Brazilian owes his various successes to himself, and him alone. Raised in the extreme poverty of the Beberibe favelas, football presented itself to him as the only opportunity to escape a life of misery. Even if it meant missing school to go kick the ball around with his mates on the beach, imagining he was Zico, or even walking dozens of kilometers to train at a club. But his love for football is not enough. A victim of malnutrition, the bow-legged teenager is considered too skinny by the various training centers in the area. And if that wasn't enough to wipe out Rivaldo's desire to continue playing football, the sudden death of his father, the only man who believed he was capable of making it in the professional world, could almost have been the final blow to his hopes. It almost did. For it is indeed from these various tragic events that Rivaldo would draw his strength of character. Trained at Santa Cruz, it was in 1992 that the Brazilian got his first taste of football's elite with the São Paulo club Mogi Mirim. While his talent is no longer a matter of debate, his physical abilities are still a question mark. But first at Corinthians, then at Palmeiras, Rivaldo would shine an indelible light on his abilities. His silky touch, his devastating hooks, and his precise, overpowering shot were impressive. There can be no doubt about it, Rivaldo is one of those players who can single-handedly win a match. Yet the attacking midfielder still has a long way to go to win the hearts of the Brazilian public. At the time, the Brazilian public only had eyes for Romário, Bebeto, and a certain Ronaldo. So when Nigeria eliminated the Seleçao at the 1996 Olympic Games after a loss of the ball by the Recife native, the fans' scapegoat was already designated. It would be him. To forget the unfair treatment of his compatriots, Rivaldo decided to pack his bags, heading for Spain and Deportivo La Coruña. In Galicia, it took him only a few weeks to shake off the unusual skepticism that has dogged him. Playing up front to compensate for the departure of Bebeto, his positioning and technical ability in the penalty area were a hit. The result? 21 goals, 3 assists, and a third-place finish in the league for his first season in Europe. Not bad. But what followed was even more delightful. Barca, worried about R9's departure to Inter Milan, and thrilled by Rivaldo's talent, blew up his €24 million release clause an hour before the end of the summer mercado with his broad shoulders. He became the Blaugrana's playmaker, alongside Luis Figo and Hristo Stoichkov, the man through whom all the balls pass, the virtuoso of a team that achieved a Copa del Rey Liga European Super Cup treble. In short, for the first time in his career, he was the public's favorite. And it doesn't matter if the boy will gradually forget to pass to his teammates. That he is judged by some to be too personal. His genius speaks for itself. He is above all the only one to answer present during the major encounters. Like that famous June 21, 2001 against Valencia, a night when the Ballon d'Or winner scored what is perhaps the greatest hat trick in the history of football. A sumptuous free kick, a 25-meter-long rocket, and a bicycle kick from the edge of the penalty area from outer space will allow the Catalans to qualify for the next Champions League campaign on the final day. Legendary, like Rivaldo's Barcelona adventure. But while the man may have been one of the best players in the world between the late 1990s and early 2000s, his recognition in Brazil is still at a standstill. It doesn't matter that his World Cup in France was pretty successful. It doesn't matter that he arrived at the Copa America '99 on a high. The man who formed an elusive double act with Ronaldo, Rivaldo, is still criticized. the Brazilians reproach him for his alleged lack of involvement with the Seleçao. Worse still, they did not hesitate to take him to task, even booing him during a Brazil-Colombia match on the sidelines of the 2002 World Cup qualifiers. What happened next? In the end, it summed up most of Rivaldo's career, a great supporter of the fifth Brazilian star. The number 10 will once again remain in the shadow of R9 or Ronaldinho. Because he is not charismatic? Perhaps. Reserved by nature, often with a closed face, Rivaldo does not embody the Brazilian zest for life that his fellow players do. In fact, the man wants to be far from this democratization of football business. The advertisements promoting Yoga Bonito? Marketing operations? No thanks. The left-hander has never forgotten his roots. Yet, he could have taken the easy way out and polished his image with a snap of the fingers. He preferred to stay true to the man he was and the experience he had growing up. It was therefore far from these new codes of modern football that Rivaldo signed for AC Milan after the 2002 World Cup. But even though he lifted another cup with big ears a few months later, his adventure in Lombardy was far from a success. As he passed his 30s, the Brazilian suffered a series of physical problems. His famous cane stroke? Gone. But Rivaldo is a smart man, aware that the peak of his career is now behind him, and that his coach is not really counting on him in his Christmas tree system. The Brazilian will pack his bags and head for Greece and Olympiacos. Like a globetrotter, he will stop over in Uzbekistan and Angola before returning to where it all began, Brazil. Just to complete the circle. So yes, Rivaldo's story is the stereotype of the little boy who gets out of poverty thanks to football. Nevertheless, the Recife star has always believed in his destiny against all odds. Sometimes he was an altruist, sometimes a soloist, sometimes a playmaker, sometimes a 9.5. His range and personality have always made him a unique man, an emblematic figure of football in the 90s and 2000s, who, with his class, thrilled stadiums the world over. And whether you like it or not, Rivaldo, the misunderstood genius, will have written his name in the pantheon of world football. And you, where do you place Rivaldo in the hierarchy of the greatest players in history? Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, don't hesitate to talk about our channel around you, to like, share, and subscribe. See you soon for a new video. Ciao!